Okay, decide again where you want me to go this time. This way or this way? Say it out loud. Yell it at the phone. That way? Okay. All right, I'm gonna go this way. Hi, I'm Nick, and my last name is Shell, and I talk about hair loss. And I am very, before I get started, thank you, by the way. Again, continued comments that I've been receiving from people who are, saying, glad to hear your son's okay. Thank you for those comments. It is funny, I admit, I am aware of the dangers of being a YouTuber and that it can get hard to separate reality from YouTube, and I get that, and I want to make sure I don't get burnt out and become one of those people who say, well, this is my last video, this is the last one you'll ever see. I don't want to do that. And it's funny because for me, the way everyone handles things differently. For me, the way to deal with, my son had a situation going on where it could have been potentially fatal. It's called parapharyngeal abscess is what it's called, and it's not very common, but thank God he is okay, and he didn't have surgery, so I'm so grateful. But there I was locked in that holding room with him while he was asleep. I was like, how do I deal with this? Because I feel I'm not an emotional guy, really. It's how I feel. I know to some degree we all are, but as far as expressing emotions or letting them get the best of me, that's not my thing. And I think that I'm the kind of person, I like to be physically working, doing stuff, creating content when I am the most stressed. Oftentimes, that's how I deal with it. When my grandmother passed away, and I was so close to her, I was making videos and referencing it and bringing her into it. So it only makes sense that, I would make videos from the bathroom of the holding room there while I was going through that, because that's how I deal with it and process it. But this is a very fun video. I've been excited all day to make this video. Obviously, we're in the 920s as far as subscribers go, and it's not going to be before long before we officially have 1,000. And so again, I mentioned, if you're a part of this first 999, you're quite special. You've got bragging rights. And so I wanted to include you in on something I'm going to be doing. Obviously, if you've been with me long enough, then back in the day, I referred to myself as the internet receding hairline guy. And then I realized, well, it's more like I'm balding. I've begun the balding process. So then I include it to receding hairline, hair loss, balding, just all of the above, kind of thing. And that's when I changed it to Brotherhood of the Hair Loss, because how hilarious is that? But yet, in my heart, I honestly believe that, yes, we are united as we psychologically deal with, accepting our hair loss and that sort of thing. So that's real. But at the same time, obviously, there's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek there, like, haha, like, that's funny, Brotherhood of the Hair Loss. But what I think is fun is if before we reach 1,000, we go ahead and establish this next part, like make it more official. So that way, by the time we're into the 1,200s on subscribers, people will look back and like, is this guy serious? And this will be that rare lost video that no one really remembers. Here's what I did. And I mentioned this when I first, a few weeks ago, talked about this whole thing about Brotherhood of the Hair Loss. I was hinting at what if we had a coat of arms, is basically what I was hinting at. So what I've done today is I've kind of sketched one out. And so those of you who have, artistic skills when it comes to creating, pictures on whatever, I'm going to give you an idea so that we can have an official coat of arms, and I can maybe use it on one of my thumbnails and reference it in the future. So if you feel like creating this for me, and then you can email it to me, nickshell1983@hotmail.com. Again, that's nickshell1983@hotmail.com. But it would have to be emailed to me in the form of like a photo. So I guess you might even, however you can do that, where it can be like a photo. That way I can upload it as a PDF. But let me get the lighting just right here. I think this will probably work right. Yeah, this is perfect, isn't it? I know, it's a perfect hair day. If someone's watching the first time, like, what hair loss? Perfect hair day, that's the answer. Okay, so you can just pause it starting now. Okay, so what you see there is I've made this coat of arms, and at the top it says Brotherhood of the Hair Loss. And then you see on one side it says unity required, and on the other side, hair optional. Because some of my subscribers, I understand, have a full head of hair, but they're still watching it anyway. So it includes everybody. And it's to acknowledge the fact that even though I haven't experienced major hair loss by 35, I still am your host anyway, and we all deal with things differently. So we're not here to discriminate against each other and say, Nick, you don't deserve to be the host because you haven't lost enough hair, and I'm younger than you. And it's also to say I personally don't discriminate against people who have more hair than me by saying, you know, why are you watching my channel if you haven't lost hair? That's not my place to say. We're not here to judge each other or to you know, look down on each other for having lost too much or too little hair. That's not what it's about. It's about being united, and some of us have more hair than others, obviously. You're asking, well, Nick, what's the 3 pictures here? This one right here, that's just kind of an image of a guy with a receding hairline. And I kind of drew him with my own facial shape. I've kind of got, in my opinion, I've kind of got like a long face that comes down to a point, maybe, which is why some people think I look like Ben Affleck to some degree. We've got right here, I've created this. I want, it's the, you know, the masculine symbol with the arrow pointed up, but it's also kind of in the likeness of a grenade. Why a grenade? Are we like super like military minded? No, it's just because with us, with our receding hairlines, it's kind of like a time bomb. Like, when will it finally hit you? You know, how far will you make it in life until you finally, you know, really start losing your hair? So, you know, we all have those concerns. You could be 16 or you could be 30 and think, am I starting to finally lose my hair? It's a ticking time bomb, which I know that a ticking time bomb is not the same as grenade, but a grenade just looked cooler on the coat of arms. Now, lastly, let me get the lighting right here again. Lastly, we have a thumbs up. Why do we have a thumbs up? Because you know me, I'm a positive, proactive host. I accept reality. I accept how life is. But yet I don't dwell on the things I can't control. Instead, I focus on what I can control. And so by that way, I'm being positive about it. So what we see here on this crest is we see, yes, we're united by our hair loss. We are masculine, and we realize that it's a ticking time bomb, that we could lose our hair at any time. And at the bottom, we're staying positive about it, and we're not dwelling on it. We're not obsessing over it. We're just discussing it. And outsiders don't get that. People who are new to the channel, Nick, why are you obsessed with hair? I'm not. I'm having a discussion. I'm leaving a discussion which new people are coming in, and it's just a good daily reminder that this isn't our whole life. Just if we're losing our hair, like, it's fine. Just like the guy in the Metallica video I mentioned in the last video for Am I Savage? Like, okay, so what? You're losing your hair, just deal with it, and you live your life, and it's fine. So if you haven't watched that Metallica video, go ahead. So that's my, so and just go ahead and rewind it if you didn't get a good shot of that, because I know I'm dealing with the sun here. But can I do, yeah, there he goes. So is that a good, there you go. That's a pretty good shot of it, right? So what I'm asking you to do to help me out here, because I don't have time or really tools to do this, how about if you want to throw that together, you know, however, whatever computer program you use, you guys are, I'm confident, more talented than me when it comes to stuff like that, and other things as well. I used to be big into art when I was a kid, and then that's transferred over to music, and now it's transferred over to communicating, making videos. But yeah, I think it would be really cool if we had an official symbol and that I could reference, especially again as this channel grows, but just make sure that it's a horizontal, because it won't show up if it's vertical. I'm Nick Shell. Thanks for your help. I gotta go.